Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post, partner with Robert Miller and Son Furniture. My name is Drew Larison.
It is.
This is MTM.
Hey, good afternoon.
Mr. Mayor, how are you?
I'm doing well. Sunshine. It's a beautiful day outside. If you've not been outside, folks, get outside. Enjoy it.
Soak up some vitamin D
Absolutely.
out of that bright star in
my
the
goodness.
sky.
It's
I tell
awesome.
you what, it is fantastic outside.
That it is.
Enjoyed some of that weather this weekend as well. So next weekend we are actually hosting an event in Indianapolis for one of our other companies.
Saw some of the prep work out there. Very
That's
cool.
right. And people are traveling all over the United States.
All over.
To come to this event, and we're very excited about it. And I saw the weather this week, and I got so excited because I'm like, I know a lot of people are coming from warmer parts of the country, and it's just a thing. You can't control the weather. So I saw the weather this week. I'm like, oh man, spring has sprung. It is here.
Yes, sir.
Yet next week it's supposed to be back in the 30s.
Good. Well, it is tournament time. We always laugh and joke that, when high school basketball tournament's on or right before they lead into March Madness, we get another dose of winter.
100%.
So, hopefully not too bad.
That was a
just
bummer.
Temps.
But you know what? We're going to control what we can control. We're going to say the Serenity Prayer every morning, and we're going to go with that.
Amen, brother.
But anyway, what is going on with what's going on at City Hall this week?
Tonight, obviously, first reading. Yeah, probably a handful of questions on that. It has been the last week or so. Council meeting tonight with the first reading for the proposed annexation and first reading for the proposed rezoning. And again, as we mentioned, the last meeting, the public hearing for the annexation was held. And so there'll probably be limited opportunities for comments during the annexation because the actual public hearing was held at the last meeting, but they'll still allow some folks to say then roll right into the rezoning. And I know the rezoning got passed from the Planning Commission with a favorable recommendation. That was just a recommendation made by the Planning Commission here, and that is subject to the annexation. So if annexation fails, rezoning's out the window. So that's why they're running those concurrently.
Dominoes that need to fall.
Dominoes that need to fall. So again, if annexation doesn't go through, then they don't move forward on the rezoning, and it stays ag, and the property owners shift gears and they go from there. So that's the excitement. Again, with the weather, I know the crews have been out still picking up remnants of limbs and some leaves and such with that, the larger items. Man, as nice as it is, it'd be great to get the asphalt plant open to start paving some stuff as opposed to just filling in potholes. But in the meantime, still let us know where those potholes are so our buggies can get out and address those until, again, probably the first week in April when some of the larger ones get started and we're able to do a few things. So going to be a busy summer. Let's pray for nice weather.
An asphalt plant, the weather has to stay above a certain
right
for 24 hours. So it's still getting pretty chilly at night, right?
Yeah. Well, and it's not just certainly that. I mean, they can't fire it up and get it started and then have the temperatures drop below freezing again. It's where there's consistency. It doesn't mean that wouldn't happen or can happen in April, which it does from time to time. But it's just more definite above freezing temperatures to keep them from having to spend more money to heat it up to make it available. So,
got it. Okay.
Yep.
Sweet.
Part of the fun.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Let's give a shout out to our friends over at Robert Miller because they've got a pretty awesome sale going on now. That tax refund is nice, but it can disappear fast or it can completely change your home.
There you go.
Our tax time savings event is happening right now. The more you upgrade, the more you save.
Really?
Start at 25% off the entire store.
Good.
And then if you spend more than $2,500, you save 30%. If you spend more than $5,000, you save 35%.
Nice.
If you've been talking about replacing that worn out sofa, finishing the bedroom, or finally doing the whole room just right, this is where it all makes sense. Check out our friends over at Robert Miller and Son for their tax time savings event happening right now. They are in the Kokomo Town Center, right on 931 and Boulevard, right?
That they are.
Boulevard and 931.
931 Boulevard.
Awesome. Thank you for them for being a partner here at the Kokomo Post for the Mayor Tyler Moore Show. Always appreciate it. Always love seeing talking about them, our friends over at Robert Miller.
Yes, sir.
All right. So before we jump into the Ask the Mayor segment, let's give a shout out to our friends over at Blue Fox HVAC as well.
Check this out.
Hi, I'm Brian with Blue Fox Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. We're a locally owned, family-run HVAC and plumbing company built by 3 families who believe quality work and great customer service matter most. Since 2018, we've taken care of homes and businesses in our community with routine maintenance, repairs, new system installs, and emergency service work 24/7, 365. What sets Blue Fox apart is our skilled technicians, clear communication, creative solutions, and preventative maintenance programs designed to catch problems early and save you money. With over 900 verified Google reviews, our quality speaks for itself. When you need heating, cooling, or plumbing you can trust, call 765-233-6846 or visit bluefoxhvc.com. Blue Fox Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Elevated comfort, expertly delivered.
You like that little truck?
I do like that little truck. Every time it scoots across the screen,
you chuckle every time. I love it. Very cool.
Great spot.
Shout out
Great
to them.
spot.
Thanks for being a partner over here on the Kokomo Post and the Mayor Tyler Moore Show. All right, let's get into it. We've got some longer questions, some shorter questions.
Okay.
We're going to get into it, but I will say, Louis, that is one of my favorite comments I've seen on this show for a long time. He said, "Let's get on these potholes, big dog."
Let's do it.
We're trying. That's why the asphalt plant is, we're waiting for that to open up with the weather, and we'd get on these potholes, big dog.
456-7474. We don't always catch them, and sometimes they rear their ugly heads before we can get back out or buy them or something. So please call and let us know. Tell us an intersection, a landmark, address, somewhere. Bring them to our attention.
Love it.
Buggies are out.
That's absolutely. Okay, let's dive into it. First question is from Cindy on the Kokomo Post Facebook feed. I posted this last week, and it didn't get answered. So please just ask one question at a time so they all get answered. We're here for you, Cindy. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor. I'm asking these questions because I sincerely want to know the answers. Okay, we're off to a good start. To me, they're just common sense statements/questions. 1, in the posted picture below, I'll show you in a second, you will notice acres and acres of weeds around Soulbrain, Jaywan, and the homes that were engulfed by these factories. I don't know the last time you've paid a visit to that area, but I know for a fact that it would not be allowed if it was one of our homes in town. These homes in this area have no value, and one man stated at Paul Wyman's informational meeting that his water tastes horrible now. He also stated that one man tried to sell his home and he couldn't, so he abandoned it. Reason 1 why we don't want another factory entering our county. They don't care about our land and they don't care about our environment, and they've proven it. Would you vote the same way if this was across the street from your home? There is the photo she is referring to.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, with that being out in that area, we can definitely have code enforcement look into it to see what is being done or not done out there. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. But no, I mean, getting back to if I would vote for it if it's across the street from me, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, yes, I get that people develop in areas and want to stay and have that, but I guess being a firm believer that Kokomo needs to continue to have opportunity, I would weigh my options if something was coming across. I'd either stay and live with it or look at the possibility of moving.
Okay. Second question. I've heard you and Paul Wyman both say that we need growth to encourage our children and grandchildren to stay here. Why do you think another factory would encourage children and grandchildren to stay here when we already have at least 7 factories in our town? Paul Wyman said we have 9,000 people that come into Kokomo to work and then go home to other towns. Why aren't we looking into another avenue instead of factories to encourage people to work here and live here? Hint. We need culture, she says. That's her second question. Yep.
So we're doing that. We're trying to increase the housing options that are available here in town to try to capture some of those that commute or may be paying more for their cost of living down in Hamilton County than they are up here, because it is more attractive and lower cost of living up here than some of the areas where those folks commute back to. But as for what benefit is there to factories for our children and grandchildren? I mean, with the factories that we have here, automotive in nature with Stellantis and the flood of activity out in GM components, Haynes International with their metals and such. I mean, so right now the majority of those manufacturing type of jobs are automotive in nature, and so children and grandchildren that desire to have a career in something other than the automotive industry, that would provide hopefully opportunities with that for more jobs to keep them close by and to stick around. And if we need culture, we're working on it. I think that the Downtown Association does a great job with First Friday events. We have our summer concert series, and we're working on expanding the trail system. Our parks get upgrades and such, and so there's a lot of amenities that we're working on. So I think the emphasis on quality of place and quality of life goes hand in hand, and if we continue to bring opportunities that have assessed value that results in tax revenue, that allows us to do more and focus on quality of place and quality of life and cultural opportunities.
Third question.
Yes.
I've been to all the meetings, and I've heard you say that the automobile industry has treated us very well, but you're excited about a different type of industry moving into our city. At the same time, you've said you don't know what's going to be moving on the annexed land.
Correct.
So how do you know it's not automotive? Thank you. Cindy.
You're right. You're right. We don't. But because there's been site selectors that have looked to invest in Indiana that are outside of the automotive industry, that would give us that opportunity. So you're right. I mean, just like the battery plants, although it was automotive pretty much in nature, it was diversification within the automotive industry. And even though the EV market slowed, fortunately with that partnership with Samsung, again, going back to speaking to culture, I mean, with the influx of Korean nationals and the Korean culture in our community these last couple of years has been wonderful. But right, I mean, that's this way with those opportunities, we can be more intentional on what we welcome in and try to incentivize and such. And so this just provides that blank slate, if you will, to entice industry, hopefully outside of the automotive industry, to do just that. But we won't know until we have something available to market. Okay.
I did not mention this up top, and I apologize for that. So the questions we're asking now for people watching at home live, these are pre-show questions that got sent in this morning when we posted for Call for Questions. But we do have the live chat questions below. We go through pre-show questions first, and then we go into the live chat questions. I will respond to your question that I got your question. I see it. I'll pull it in my notes. That's how this works. If you're first time watching the show, that's how this works. Just thought I'd let that out. Kylie
he is the multitasking master.
Yeah. Kylie on Facebook.
Yeah.
Kind of probably a cheeky question.
Okay.
What is the process or the recall of a political office in Howard County?
The process of a recall of a political office.
Or the recall of a political office in Howard County. Elections.
I don't know. Yeah, elections. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess you may be speaking, like if there's an impeachment type of process, I think you could probably file a legal case or create a legal battle, if you will, against a particular elected official to have them removed from office, but I don't know that process, if that's what she means, somebody recalled from office. So,
got it. Yep. Next question, Anne Marie on Facebook. Is anyone interested in building in Kokomo? We would be a great location for an IKEA and or a Buc-ee's. Anne Marie on Facebook.
That'd be great. Yeah, if IKEA or Buc-ee's, depending, the Buc-ee's one would depend on where they would end up, because we've got that ordinance in place now with convenience stores and gas stations. They have to be a mile within or in proximity of the closest one. So depending on where that would end up. But yeah, I mean, IKEA. I mean, we've got IKEA, Whole Foods. Go down the laundry list of folk, the Dave and Buster's. I mean, all kinds of people saying that. I mean, we can't reach out to those folks and say, come here, once you hear and stuff, we can react and say, hey, Kokomo's a great place. And with a lot of what we have going on up here, all eyes are on Kokomo. And I've mentioned this a few times. We didn't even know Heavenly Ham had Kokomo on their radar until and I think the CEO or one of the officers for Heavenly Ham said there's a lot of good things, seems to be a lot of good things going on in Kokomo, and we may want to be there. So as we continue to do that, that'll just hopefully garner interest and get more companies to, whether it's industry or retail or such, to locate here.
Thomas on Facebook.
Hey.
With your knowledge of the Superior Voluntary Annexation, IC 364-351.1.
Okay.
Felt like a robot there for a second. What do you think the spirit of the law is in regards to a property owner in the middle of a planned development? Is the intent to force people out of their homes or to make them live in the middle of an industrial park that could end up being a toxic waste dump or nuclear power plant, which fall under heavy industrial? Don't you think the intent of the law is to only move forward if everyone within the territory is on board, since that is what it literally says? Thomas on Facebook.
Well, and I think a lot of that too is involuntary. I mean, so those 2, 3, 4 properties that are carved out of this area, I mean, are folks that I'm going to assume, because again, the city didn't initiate the annexation, or you're not, forcing folks to do whatever, but there may have been conversations had and they didn't want in, so we're not going to forcibly annex them in. But I get what he's saying, if it's going around these individuals and such, is that necessarily the spirit of the annexation? And I think that, yes, that needs to be taken into consideration, but at the same time, just because everything else is around, we're not going to force those folks in if they're not necessarily wanting to. So is it truly the nature of annexation? Probably not, but at the same time, because it's those property owners or landowners asking or requesting to be brought in, that's what the council will weigh.
Next question is from our friend Howard Tipton, which, as always, is a very real person and real profile online. Sure. In no way a fake profile that asks trolls of questions. How long will it be before you tap the trash tax and use it for something else? Asking for a friend who's going to replace you next election.
Oh,
Howard
nice.
Tipton. Once again, very real profile on Facebook.
Well, not tapping the trash tax anytime soon with what was passed. I mean, we're obviously looking at what the potential challenges that Senate Bill 1 from last year, poses, but have no intent on tapping or increasing the trash tax or sending that to anything else. It is going to support the street maintenance and refuse department, but the trash pickup aspect of that to work on equipment as well as personnel, which I guess with that in mind, it frees up funds in the budget that go towards that, which could then be allocated to you towards other things in other departments. So if he's saying, we're going to tap into that in order to use it elsewhere, no, I mean, what it's designed to do to support the trash service will then free up additional funds within the general to go towards other things. So I guess you could say that might be what some may say is tapping into, but it's just freeing that up so that more funds are available to be used either in that department or other departments. So, okay. And I'm sure whoever replaces me will find that out, and maybe ask them. Maybe they will tap into the trash fee when they get in.
Well, whoever they are very real friends with very real Howard Tipton on Facebook.
Perfect.
It's just nothing but realness over here. Christina on Facebook. If all city responsibilities are delegated to private business and the citizens, as you've stated multiple times now, when asked about more police presence in Indian Heights, responsibilities of KPD when the Humane Society is unavailable, or the homeless population using the side of the public library as a bathroom, what exactly are the citizens of the city paying taxes for? Your original lie about the industrial park and annexation was that the current industries needed to expand their utilities, so more land was needed, therefore annexation of farmland. Here recently, you've stated that no one is actually lined up to industrialize that area, so which lie is closer to the truth? Are there already buyers lined up, and that's why you need to annex, or do you need to annex the land in a build it, they will come scenario? Again, I'll ask, does the city only use the rights of eminent domain when it comes to poor people behind on their taxes or unable to maintain their properties, or do the dilapidated factories just sitting around town fall under those rules too? Does GM get the right to create another EPA Superfund site because it needs storage space for trucks it can't sell when you annex 700 acres of farmland, yet more industrialization that will be gone again in 50 years or less? Christina on Facebook.
Okay. I was having a hard time following all that. I might have to go back through, but kind of going, backwards. I mean, the GM site, I mean, yes, that's privately owned. It's been marketed, if you will, or there's been interest, and we've directed folks to the GM site to see if there's purposeful use by them, but it would be up to GM. But as for annexing, there's not. This is just additional opportunity for what is already in places, and there are areas that have open ground but had EPA issues. I think that she kind of alluded to on that, so it doesn't make it conducive for additional development, but dilapidated buildings, they receive notices and such, and typically clean things up, but the cost for cleanup in many cases prevents them from doing anything further. But there are measures in place that continue to monitor that there aren't additional issues, and even then, if the city were to take it over, the cost for some of that cleanup isn't just as simple as cutting down weeds or cleaning up a residential property. I mean, there's sometimes in cases like that, there's millions of dollars involved in cleanup, which we would not have additional funds in order to do that. So we'd have to then go after those private businesses, which could result in legal fees. And so in a few cases, we have engaged in that. But it's just the proper and best use of taxpayer money. So it's just unfortunate that some of those are higher dollar properties for cleanup. Going back to what were some of the first ones
the other issue that they were was talking about the industrial park annexation was the current industry. Well, she said your first statement was the current industries needed it to expand their utilities, so more land was needed, therefore annexation of farmland. Here recently, you've stated that no one is actually lined up to industrialize that area. Okay, so hold on. So, I mean, if they haven't come to the city, they've not come to the planning commission. So if there are companies working with the landowners themselves, that's what they've got in mind. Nothing's been brought to this. So, I mean, I know the previous question, what if opportunities that come are automotive in nature? I mean, we hope that there's a little bit of diversification. If there's already discussions with the IEDC or Samsung or any of the other property owners out there, but there's nobody that's lined up at City Hall has presented anything to City Hall development plan-wise, either us or the Planning Commission. So as for expanded utilities, I mean, I think that whatever comes there, we would work with the utility companies to make sure that there's adequate resources for whatever companies would go there, or the companies would be on the hook for providing that or covering the costs and expense for that, so they're not coming to the city for additional infrastructure outside of maybe some streets or street improvement. Did we cover them all? The last one she was referencing was kind of about, it's been a topic just in general about the Humane Society and police have to enforcing it. It says, if all city responsibilities are dedicated to private businesses and the citizens, as you've stated multiple times now when asked about police presence in Indian Heights or responsibilities, KPD with the Humane Society is unavailable, or the homeless population at the library, what exactly are the citizens of people paying for if we're just hiring private businesses to take care of those things? Yeah, that's basically her question.
We're not. I mean, we're subsidizing the services and such for the Humane Society, and now working with a nonprofit to assist in the detainment of animals, specifically dogs, and so working that out with them as opposed to paying more to the Humane Society for that. Not sure about policing in Indian Heights, hiring individual private companies for that. Don't think we were doing that, but still working to increase our numbers within the police department to do better policing. We've done a better job downtown as well. A lot of what has happened around the library was due to the availability of things around the library or the library's willingness to allow folks to stay, but that has started to get cleaned up. So kudos to KPD for addressing things in the downtown area, not just there, but in the parking garages. So I think we're doing a great job with the departments that we have, with the resources we have, managing the services that we're expected and required to do.
Thomas on Facebook.
Hey.
Another possible serious question,
Okay.
maybe cheeky. What is the deadline for registration to get on the ballot for the mayoral election in 2027 for those interested?
The filing period, I don't know the exact dates, but there's, like the first week in January to the first week in February. So there's a month time between, again, somewhere around that first week in January and that first week in February. I don't know the exact times, but there's just about a 30-day period that folks that are interested can file with the county clerk.
Okay.
They have candidate packets there, too, that you can pick up out of all the information there.
John on Facebook. I asked last week about a friend whose house was going up to be sold in a tax sale because they got behind on their taxes. All you said was that that's what taxes are used for. My question, or what all you said was what the taxes are used for. My question was, do you think it's right to take someone's home to pay the property someone's house to pay the property tax?
Well, I mean, people pay property taxes not just to the city, but to the city, to the county, to the libraries, recycling district, schools. And so until there's a replacement for property taxes to fund government services that are required by statute and by law and such, services that are provided to individuals are required to be paid. And so I guess it's just like anything else. If you hired somebody to cut your grass or to do home improvement or work on your car and such, I mean, if you don't pay them, they need payment back. I mean, so I guess that's, I don't like it, especially if it's somebody's, home. But it's just same as well. I mean, if they take out a mortgage in order to purchase the home, if they don't make the payments to the mortgage company obviously has the right to foreclose on that and take the home from them. So it's services or support that's paid that is required to be paid for the services and such. So it's legal, unfortunately, and it's not always good, especially when folks fall into hard times. But until there's a replacement for property taxes and some other way to fund government services that are provided to residents and taxpayers, then unfortunately that's the legal process that must follow.
Okay. Next question is from Mike on Facebook.
Hey.
Mayor Moore,
yes.
Do you believe voting to approve the annexation and rezoning without knowledge of what is being built on the land in question is a responsible action by the city council? As a constituent, I do not believe that it is, and I believe the majority of the citizens they represent would agree. What is your stance on this? Mike on Facebook.
I don't think it's irresponsible. Again, it's created an opportunity. Those that will either attend the meeting tonight or will view it later will see that the executive director for the Alliance will present just a handful of leads that site selectors have sent from the state looking at opportunities to invest and develop. And because we didn't have adequate acreage and that acreage being rezoned industrial, we lost out on those opportunities. And so simply because it's not available, or since there's not a plan in place, I don't think that's irresponsible at all. I mean, typically, yes, if somebody sees something or an area and they like it and want to invest there, then they go through that process. But again, because the city hasn't seen a development plan from anybody or the planning commission hasn't seen a development plan from anybody, doesn't mean that those property owners aren't already talking to companies that are interested. And so hopefully that will come to light. But it's trusting. It's opportunity in an area where there's development and access to the interchange on an interstate quality road, which is the 31 bypass. And so I think that alone creates an opportunity at some investment. So no, with the area of the annexation being where it is, I don't feel that that's irresponsible at all.
Okay. Alice on Facebook. The avoidance of any communication about unannexation of the prior mayor, profitable annexation into the city whereby signed petitions, meetings, lawyers, and real estate agents and brokers have spent the last 10 years of these affected areas, like our farmers and taxpayers alike, have sat in on. Answer that if you dare. There's no question fully there.
Yeah, unless it's the same one that is asked before, what's the process of getting unannexed or basically leaving the city limits? I mean, you'd have to get probably legal counsel to see how that, but I don't recall receiving petitions or meetings or anything in the last 10 years or so with folks requesting to be removed from the city limits. But I'd have to consult legal counsel on that as well to see. Don't know if that's ever happened. I'm sure it may have, but would take a legal process.
Got it. Susan on Facebook. Mr. Mayor, when Mr. Wyman was a county commissioner and a realtor, who did he sell the land up north to? Was it Stellantis or Samsung? Creating a conflict of interest in which the Attorney General was notified of, and the citizens should trust him? Why? Susan on Facebook.
Well, when Mr. Wyman was county commissioner and still working in his capacity as a real estate agent, which he has every legal right to do, he didn't own the property and sell it to them. I mean, the county, didn't own the property and sell it to these individuals. There were small areas that were county owned that were simply used for detention, and those were turned over to the city. I mean, just for that detention area for water runoff and such. But he didn't sell those properties. He may have worked in his capacity as a realtor and disclosed that, but he wasn't the one that sold. And in many cases, it was just those companies working through the state as well, working with the local alliance to do what they needed to do at that point. But I think that's it.
Good. Kenneth on Facebook. Let's try again since it was the most liked comment last week but got skipped. Oh. If the city council insists on the annexation, will the mayor/city council include a moratorium on any data center type facility as a part of the annexation, not the one proposed for Howard County, but the one for the city of Kokomo? Kenneth, this question has been asked 700 times.
There's not a proposed annexation by Howard County. I mean, the property is outside of the city limits now, so it's in the county, but it's in the so the case that's coming in as annexation are these landowners asking to be brought into the city. The city's not forcibly annexing them. They're being asked to be brought in. So what was the question or the point?
Just talked about putting a moratorium.
Oh, the moratorium. Yeah, sorry. Yep. The moratorium. I would not be in favor of that. I can't speak for the council. I'm sure there are a few of those that have had conversations and attended or watched the planning commission meetings, and of course were part of the first meeting with that. I mean, so I can't speak for the council to see if that's something that they would entertain. So
Okay. Also, that question has been asked 700 times in the last month,
Sure.
and he's answered it every single time. Next question is Heather on Facebook. They say these data centers are dangerous and have lots of toxins and cause cancer. Do you feel safe building it near a school less than a mile away? If that is what you are planning on putting there, why would you jeopardize the people of Kokomo who live here?
A lot of things have changed. I mean, again, if a data center is part of it, part of the development, I mean, it's not going to be to the extent that some of these others will be, because if it's right around 700 acres, the 31 bypass runs right through the middle of it. I mean, so if a data center is being considered, it's not going to be as large as some of these meta sites, but a lot has changed. I mean, we talk about water usage, and I'm hearing that there's closed loop circuits or systems within these to cool, so they're not using the amount of water that is anticipated. EPA standards are still in place. They'll have to answer to that, as well as water, not just with the EPA and IDEM, but our local wastewater facility and such. I mean, so a lot of things have changed just even in the last 5 to 10 years in regards to all industry, not just data centers. I mean, all industry that have restrictions and requirements and are regulated, by these local, state, and federal agencies. So we're pretty comfortable that those would still be in place and parameters set.
Got it. 1 second.
No problem.
Jamie on Facebook, why didn't you use the union work for the firehouse? Jamie on Facebook.
We did with electrical. I mean, so when bids get put out, I mean, there's general contractors that bid for these, and some of those general contractors have union work, have some union, some non-union work, and some non-union work. And so the responsibility to the taxpayers, and that is to go with the least expensive and most responsive bids, and on that particular one, I think the next lowest bid was 20 to 30% higher than what the lowest bid that we went with, but the contractor that's being used now is using some union labor on some and some not on others. So, I mean, it's a delicate balance to try and be responsible with taxpayer money when we're building public facilities like firehouses or fire stations or other public buildings versus what the cost difference would be by going with a different general contractor. And so it's a delicate balance to try and make sure we're being responsible while still supporting union labor as best we can and where we can. But a lot of that falls on the general contractors that win the bids for the projects.
Got it. Next question is from Chris on Facebook. Why does he continue to say that people want annexed? I'm asking here in public forum for all to see, are there any property owners in this area that are willing to speak up and tell us what you are wanting to be annexed into the city? It's easy for the liar to continue saying that he said, she said, but we want to hear it from the horse's mouth. Chris on Facebook.
So I'm assuming I'm the liar. I don't know. I mean, if there's any landowners that are tuning in that want to throw in some comments in the live chat, they can. Otherwise, I mean, the information is public as to who owns those properties. You could find out from them or reach out to them to try and get response. So, I mean, again, the city is not working with these landowners. We didn't initiate the annexation. They didn't come to us with a specific developer. They requested and applied to be annexed and to be rezoned, and had left it at that. I mean, if there's anything that these landowners are working with or developers that they're talking to, as he mentioned, they'll need to hear it from the horse's mouth, which would be those landowners, because there's nothing being proposed development plan wise that's been given to the city or to the planning commission for consideration.
All right. Before we continue on, let's talk about our friends over at Affordable Pest Management. Indiana's trusted choice for residential and commercial pest control, wildlife removal, installation services, crawl space cleanouts, and full home protection. They deliver fast, reliable service with honest pricing and same-day emergency response when you need it most. They handle everything from general pests like ants, spiders, roaches, bedbugs, wildlife issues involving raccoons, squirrels, bats, and groundhogs. Their team also provides crawl space cleanouts, vapor barrier installation upgrades, gutter cleaning, power washing, holiday light installation, and more, protecting your home or business inside and out. Homeowners, landlords, business owners, and property managers rely on Affordable Pest Management for clear communication, professional inspections, and long-term solutions that save money. New customers can get 10% off their first service when they mention they heard this on the ad on the show. Call them today at 765-450-8584 or visit indianaapm.com to schedule service or request a free quote.
Awesome.
Shout out to Affordable Pest Management for being a part of the show. Next question is from Lacey.
Okay.
On Facebook, residents in the Forest Park neighborhood are concerned about the condition of the sidewalks on West Mulberry. They are severely damaged and make it difficult and sometimes unsafe to access the Cloverleaf Trail. Kokomo promotes healthy living and outdoor activity, but the sidewalks leading to the trail don't currently support that goal. The uneven and deteriorating pavement creates challenges not only for walkers and runners, but especially for residents with disabilities, strollers, and limited mobility. Considering the amount of property taxes paid in the Forest Park neighborhood, is there a plan to repair the sidewalks along West Mulberry and improve safe accessibility to the Cloverleaf Trail? Additionally, are there any plans to add more accessible trail entry points for nearby neighborhoods? Lacey on Facebook.
We can look at entry points to neighborhoods. A lot of that has to do with access. If you can't get to them from public streets, you'd have to get access through folks' personal property, so that might be a little dicey, but we can definitely look at that. As for the sidewalks, we've talked about this before too. The city has a 50-50 program because folks own their properties out to the street, which includes the sidewalks, and so if a particular block needs some sidewalk repair, because it's the property owner's responsibility, the city has a program that we would work with the folks along that stretch of block. I mean, it would need to be the entire block, and pay half the cost of the sidewalk repair as opposed to expecting the property owners to cover that themselves. I get that when people move in, well, we didn't put the sidewalks in, well, the subdivision, the original developer did, whoever developed that particular neighborhood and area. And so because ownership is from the property, the engineering department has information on a 50-50 program that would assist folks in having sidewalks repaired in their neighborhoods.
Okay. Next question is from, let me find it here. Vicky on Facebook.
Hey.
Why haven't the lines been put back on from Park to Webster on Alto Road? It's been repaved for quite a while now.
Yes, it got repaved towards the end of November, maybe early December, because that work was contracted out. There's a subcontractor that does the striping for E&B, and so weather has a lot to do with that. So it's until the conditions stay consistently conducive for that, and when they have, as I understand, additional striping to come up and do. They're waiting for that, but I will have the engineering director poke them again and ask them if they can consider doing that soon. But E&B contracted that. That's part of what we paid them to do, and they've got a subcontractor that does that.
Okay. Corey on Facebook, when will the traffic lights at Jefferson and Washington be fixed?
As soon as the pole needed replaced. I know there was, I think it's a supply chain type of issue that we can't get a new lamppost and arm in yet, and so as soon as that is available, because obviously it took a little while for North and Washington that experienced the same accident to get fixed as well, and so we're just waiting for that post and arm to come in to get it fixed. So hopefully soon, we'll see.
Okay. Our good friend Charming Phoenix 1659 asked, the east-west lanes at the Boulevard Berkeley intersection need reconfigured with a U-turn lane. Charming Phoenix 1659.
Boulevard in Berkeley needs a U-turn lane?
Boulevard and Berkeley intersection need reconfigured with a U-turn lane, the east and west lanes.
maybe not U-turn. Maybe it needs a dedicated left turn lane, maybe, as opposed to a U-turn. So, and some of that has to do with accessibility. I mean, we don't own, there's not an easement for the intersection to be larger or widened in order to get that in. But I think they've done traffic counts in the past, but there's just not enough space that the city has legal access to in order to widen that and put a dedicated turn lane in going east-west.
Okay. Let's see here. One more before we'll break again. Okay. When are they going to slow down the cars on Imperial Drive? They're driving 40 miles per hour plus, and children live on the street. Jeffrey on Facebook.
We can try and get directed
People are really excited about getting that Chick-fil-A.
I know. And that stretch of Imperial isn't that long, so 0 to 40 on that short stretch would be interesting. But, we can have a patroller maybe put our little radar trailer out there to bring the speed to folks' attention to get them to slow down. But then I don't know if engineering is looking into any measures as well to deter any type of racing to or from the parking lot or to the light.
Got it.
Short stretch.
Sweet. Let's give a shout out to our friends over at Kokomo Antique Mall for being a part on the show. If you love the thrill of finding something truly one of a kind, you've got to check out the Kokomo Antique Mall. This isn't just a shop, it's a treasure hunt. With over 75 vendors and 3 full floors to explore, it's one of those places where you can wander for an hour and still feel like you've barely scratched the surface. You'll find everything from antiques and vintage decor to furniture, collectibles, home decor, and unique statement pieces that you won't find anywhere else. And because it's a multi-vendor mall, the inventory is always changing, meaning every time you visit, there's something new waiting around the corner. Whether you're a collector, a casual browser, or someone looking for that perfect place for your home, you're bound to leave with something that has a story. They're open Tuesday through Sunday, 11 to 6, and it's the perfect spot to spend an afternoon browsing, treasure hunting, and supporting local vendors all in one place.
Love it.
Right here in downtown Kokomo. So next time you're downtown, stop by the Kokomo Antique Mall, where every visit feels like a new find. Next question is from Susan on Facebook. When is he going to put the street lights on city streets that were legally forced into the city during Goodnight's administration, and why doesn't he return phone calls? Susan on Facebook.
I'll have to check to see what... I apologize if we didn't get the message, didn't get the phone call returned, but lights in the annexed areas back in 2012. It depends on when we can consider getting to those. I mean, Duke does the installation and a lot of those for the city. And right now they're still working their way through Indian Heights. But depending on what neighborhood she's talking about, maybe that's part of the phone call or the message that I didn't get to get returned. So give me a call back, 456-7444, and I'll make sure that I hunt down that message. Sorry about that.
Okay. Next question is from Brenda on Kokomo Facebook. I live by the Haynes factory on Park Road in McCann. How can we get the Friday siren to stop? It goes off every Friday at 12 p.m., sometimes lasting for 5 to 10 minutes. There are people who work nights and are sleeping at this time, and it's very disruptive to daily life. That is the test, right?
Yes,
the
just siren. The test, the tornado siren. So check with Haynes. It's probably part of their safety requirements and policies that they have in place. I know that if there is a tornado, a lot of folks that rely on the phones now too might not mind having that siren, but that'd be a decision that Haynes would have to make.
Got it. Let's give a shout out to our friends over at Wolf's.
Okay.
Smokehouse.
Yes.
If you're craving real barbecue, the kind that takes time, care, and serious smoke, then you have to check out Wolf's Smokehouse. Wolf's Smokehouse is a locally owned smokehouse and barbecue shack at 502 North Main Street in Kokomo, and they're doing things the old school way. They use fresh, never frozen meat, and they don't rush the process. Their smokers are rolling from open to close because their tagline, "We smoke all day," isn't just a tagline. It's a promise.
Yes, sir.
On the menu, you'll find everything barbecue lovers dream about: tender brisket, juicy chicken, savory sausage, fall off the bone ribs, and classic smoked bologna, all packed with flavor and smoked low and slow. Wolf's has delicious signature sides, and they even offer catering so you can bring that smoke to your next party or work lunch. Here's the only warning: because everything is made fresh daily, Wolf's is known for one very real thing. They sell out every single day. When it's gone, it's gone.
Yep.
They're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. So do yourself a favor and get there early.
Yes.
Wolf Smokehouse, they smoke all day.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
we are into the section for the live chat questions.
Hey, okay. Good deal. Check to make sure.
Sure, yeah.
Yep.
Make sure I got all these questions. And I did. So we're getting the live chat questions. If you're still watching, here we go. Kevin on live chat.
Yes.
Washington's road condition is getting worse and worse by day. Can we get this whole road fixed on the north side? Kevin on live chat.
As soon as the asphalt plant opens, that's that and the stretch of Southway from the Alto intersection at 5 Points. Those are the two that didn't get in under the gun last year, and so those two will be first on the list as soon as the asphalt plant is open. And we can do. I know on the Washington one, because there's federal funds tied to it, we had to make sure that all the corners had ADA compliant ramps on them. There may be a little bit of work done for that, but yes, that's going to be one of the projects that hopefully E&B will get on first thing, probably in April or May, when, again, the asphalt plant opens and we can do it.
Got it. Next question is from Allie on live chat. Did the city work with the IEDC in the 2022 in 2022? Wow. Did the city work with the IEDC in 2022 to purchase the parcels that are now being requesting for annex? Allie on live chat.
The IEDC worked with the landowners and purchased those. I mean, the city didn't own them. The city never took title to those. The IEDC, as part of what their involvement was with the battery plant and suppliers and such, and what they were able to do to assist that, they did that themselves. So, I mean, the city, we didn't assist them in that manner outside of just being part of everything that developed up there.
Got it. And she had another question as well. Can you identify any other places in Kokomo or Howard County that have rural residents directly adjacent to high industry? Would you be in favor of phase or transitional zoning? Allie on live chat.
The GM Components in Delphi, Delco, I mean, they were right across Lincoln Road. There's all kinds of residential neighborhoods and such there along Lincoln and along Goyer. I mean, so there's those areas. Haynes International, right on the other side of the fence, our residential areas along Deaf and Ball and along our trail, they're tucked at the Deaf and Ball and Dixon. And so those are close by. I'm trying to think of all the plants. But yeah, those are probably the ones that come to mind.
So yes, you can.
Most. Continental Steel, when it was still around, had residential right across the street from that.
She did specifically mention rural residential.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, rural residential. Some of those areas might have been rural at the time when they were built, just as the city continued to expand. So, not sure, how the communities continued to expand after those plants were all built close to 100. Well, some of them 100 years or so ago. I mean, especially the old Warren's Auto Parts. That was the original Chrysler factory back in the day. But I guess, yes, those aren't rural, but those are a lot closer than some of the rural areas that maybe are in close proximity to some of the battery plants and suppliers out there that's being proposed.
Okay. Mike on live chat. More of an FYI, there's a tall radio antenna right behind the work release building and the top beacon light has stopped working. Who do you notify? I have called the sheriff's department. Mike on live chat.
maybe the either county commissioners or the county attorney to look in to see, because I'm assuming that tower doesn't belong to the county if it's on county property near work release, and so there's probably a lease in place for that tower, and so the county should know what company owns that tower and can notify them accordingly.
Okay. Dan on live chat. Hey,
Yep.
Mayor, I like
Hey.
the beard. Could that be
Thanks.
the beginning of a Santa roll at Christmas?
I don't know. My wife won't let it get any thicker than this, so probably not.
Because you've done this the last few years. During winter, you've grown out the beard, right?
Well, I mean, around wintertime, and it's usually, but no, I think it's going to stick around.
Got it.
I just have to keep trimming it. So yeah, no, I don't think my wife will let it get too much fuller until maybe later on in years. We'll see.
Jealous.
When it comes in all white.
Marilyn on live chat. Why are my taxes going up, but the city people's are going down? I have a 2-bedroom condo, not a full-size big house. Marilyn on live chat.
Property valuations. I mean, so assessed valuations, when they use comparables, they look at the structure and square footage and kind, and a lot of that also tied to market value. So if you've got a condo that's similar to other condos that are selling at higher prices than what single family homes are, a lot of that comes into play as well. So the county assessors are the ones that use those comparables based on property style and property type and comparable sales price information in the market. So it's market driven just as much as it is increased assessments based on those valuations.
Okay. Tim on live chat, would the city be open to providing a tax abatement for the new industry? And if so, for how many years would you be willing to support a property tax abatement? Tim on live chat.
Not real excited about tax abatements, especially in this newer area, so not real wild about it. I guess it would depend on what gap they may need to fill, and at the same time, jobs. I mean, if there's only a small handful of jobs, absolutely not. I mean, because tax abatements are typically tied to employment numbers, and so if there's not a whole lot of jobs attributed with whatever comes and tries to develop wherever it is, not just in the annex area, but anywhere else in town, a lot of those abatements are tied to workers that they can bring in. So.
Got it. Okay. Before we continue the last few questions here today, let's talk about our friends over at Berrycom.
Yes.
If you're tired of buffering, spotty connections, or internet that can't keep up with your house or your business, it's time to switch to Berrycom. Berrycom is a local fiber internet provider serving the Kokomo area, bringing fast, reliable internet to the people who actually live and work here. Fiber means a stronger, more consistent connection for everything that you do. Streaming, gaming, working from home, video calls, running a business, all of it. And here's the best part. You're not calling some faraway help desk. With Berrycom, you're working with a local team that understands the community and shows up for it. Upgrade your internet connection and keep your day moving forward with Berrycom. Fiber internet built for Kokomo.
There you go.
Mike on live chat.
Hey.
So when the newly annexed heavy industrial zone is turned into a data center or toxic waste dump that employs a handful of people at best, what land do you plan to develop next? Casting blind votes for this type of zoning is highly irresponsible, and it is disturbing that you don't see that. Mike on live chat.
Don't have any other ground unless there's landowners or farming families or farmers that would end up selling to corporations again that would develop, just as what's been done or happening here. But there's nothing in place now or planned for additional ground to be, acquired or annexed unless the landowners come to the city again and ask to be annexed. Okay. Not going after it.
Michael on live chat. What about these roads that are trash?
Oh my gosh, they are trash, especially this time of year. Potholes. We have the pothole hotline 456-7474. Let us know where they are. I get that a lot of the patchy work, and so it's a little rough. I mean, we're trying to get this year's paving schedule together. We'll do the best we can to try and knock out maybe 8 to 10 lane miles of streets and alleyways and such. But it's a daunting task, and it's tough to stay on top of when there's time limitations on time, resources, and availability with the over close to 700 lane miles of streets and alleyways that we're expected to maintain on a regular basis.
Calvin on live chat.
Hey.
How sick are you two of answering the same couple of questions for the next month? Next week, I'm turning this into a drinking game, says Calvin on live
Hey,
chat.
we may.
I don't encourage that. That's not safe.
I know, yeah, especially with the number. I mean, we just, I know a lot of people ask that too, but a lot of times it's folks' first time on the show or to view the show, and so they throw questions out that may have been asked, in shows prior, even, for a number of years and such, but hopefully that means new folks are getting engaged, new folks are wanting to be informed and educated on things, and so I don't mind repeating myself a lot of times because, again, folks are asking it for a reason.
He also says, how truly endangered are the tricolored bats in the Howard County area?
I don't know. I haven't looked into the... What are they? Tricolored bats? Tricolored bats in the area. I don't know how many we have, but I would think they'd be fine. I know there was concern, 15 years or so ago, when there was talk about wind turbines coming to the east side of Howard County. But kind of the same thing. People didn't want them. We put restrictions in place as kind of a compromise between landowners and the companies and such. So actually, there is the ability or availability for wind turbine time to be installed, but because of the restrictions and parameters we put in place, it's not economically feasible. So I'd like to think that knowing what everybody's concerns are with resources and needs and concerns and such with what may be developed in these areas, that we'll be able to look at and impose the same type of parameters, standards, and restrictions to do the best we can to protect those out there.
Andrew on live chat, why can't these important meetings be somewhere else that can hold up to more capacity? There's many, many more people who want to come. Also, they shouldn't be pushed away or told to watch on KGov. Don't give to excuses. They should show up earlier or along that BS line. Andrew on live chat. I kind of got a little cheeky at the end there, but at what point potentially does this get moved to? I know it's the council chambers, and that's why it was designed and built.
And I think these last two meetings, and even tonight, people aren't going to be turned away. I think we've still been able to stay in capacity. We can get 120 or 100, or is it 150? 120, 150 in the chambers and 120. So we can accommodate well over 200 people in the council chambers and in the lobby area. And we've got a speaker set up in the lobby area for folks to hear what's going on inside the chambers. And everybody that shows up don't come to speak. They come to hear what's going on and stuff. There is the availability of that, but I guess if there's knowing that something contentious is coming up, if folks can request that it be changed. It just, once you start changing venues too, then folks start claiming that too. Sure. It's like, oh, you're changing the venue because you want to confuse people. You don't want them to come. So there's that aspect as well, that there's consistency with there, and there's the availability to accommodate folks. But we don't tell like, hey, don't come. Yeah. Watch it online. Fortunately, now state law requires that you broadcast or make public meetings online for folks to be able to just listen in and watch and it happen. Because again, not everybody that attends a public meeting or views a public meeting necessarily wants to say something or to be heard. So there's that option. But I don't think anybody was purposefully turned away. Now I know. At the Planning Commission meeting, I think either I think it was that one, or maybe it was that first council meeting, because City Hall now gets locked down at night. It went past the time because after meetings start, I think it stays unlocked for 45 minutes to an hour after a meeting starts, and because there were folks coming at the tail end, and the doors were locked because they were on a timer. I think folks inside the lobby, still saw folks and let them in, but it wasn't done purposely. So, folks are encouraged to come.
Got it. Next question is from Sabrina on live chat. Can we get our leaves picked up? My husband followed the guidelines of raking them down to the road last fall, and they are still there. We have called the street department 3 times and have raked them again twice in the last few weeks. We have someone coming to treat our lawn, and the grass is dying under all of these leaves. So frustrating. Sabrina on live chat.
I know that the street department's been making additional passes through. They've, so send me an email, mayor@cityofkokomo.org, and I can have them check to see, because I know a few folks have done the same and asked, but they should have already been by if they hadn't already, especially if she called in, left an address where the leaves are. I know, like I said, they've had spent a little bit of time. It's weather permitting, of course. These unseasonably warm days have allowed us to get out. But send me an email with that address or call them again and request. But let me know and I can follow up on it.
Okay. Let's see. Next question is last question too.
Hey,
if no other ones come in. From Greg on live chat. Has our water table ever been mentioned? Are you okay with a data center? Are you, the mayor, worried at all about our water with all of that coming? Greg on live chat.
Well, as I mentioned, the technology has changed, and so they use closed loop systems if a data center comes. So there's that measure in place. Indiana American Waters, the provider of water in our area and would be to this area as well. And so if the needs of whatever development would come in, not necessarily a data center, because again, with 31 running through it, if something like that is coming, it's not going to be one of those meta sites, so it's not going to be huge and use the capacity of that. But depending on what would choose to develop or invest there, depending on what their needs are, we will work closely with the utility companies to assure that what they're bringing in or able to bring in is sufficient. And if it's not, then that they either find the means to do it and to get it in, or it doesn't develop.
Got it. Carl on live chat.
Hey,
what is the link for the meeting uptown? So I'm guessing he's talking about the meeting tonight.
Just until people are done talking. They're going to allow anybody that wishes to speak.
No, I think he's asked, what's the link to watch it online?
Oh, the link. I thought he said length.
No, the link.
So it's on. It's KGov.
Which can be YouTube.
Which could be, it would take you to a YouTube. So you can go to this. I think KGov has a Facebook page. That's the website. It's kgov2.org or something.
Yeah. If you get on YouTube and search KGov2, the channel will pop up. And that it streams live on YouTube. It's also on cable as well. Mm-hmm. Like if you do have cable still with Comcast.
Yep. Channel 2.
Channel 2 there as well. So,
but I think the Channel 2 may not be live. That may just be rebroadcast. So
really?
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think the
only
cable
live is the
channel
online?
2. Yeah, the KGov, the Channel 2 on Xfinity or on cable are rebroadcasts.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's good to know. So. Okay, and sorry, I did miss a question earlier. Forgot to copy and paste it. Probably got distracted. From Todd on live chat. You mentioned the 50-50 program for the city sidewalk repair / replacement. Can a homeowner replace their sidewalk privately without the city?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, they can, because with the sidewalk program, it would be the entire block, and so I think it's still 60% of the owners along there have to agree to the work to be done. and then they work with those that may not have signed on for that. But yeah, I mean, that if folks want to redo a strip of sidewalk in front of their homes and even their driveway on their own privately, absolutely.
I mean, it is legally their land, right?
Correct.
Like the sidewalk is in your property line.
Correct.
Your land. So you can do what would you like
Yep.
that. Also, how long will the repair take at the Haynes factory tunnel from town as well?
I know. We were told, because they ran into some issues on the underside of it, the base, and that kind of pushed it back, but they had assured us that it was either end of March, first part of April, that work should be done. So we're hoping that they hold to that, because it's gone on a little longer than we had all expected or anticipated.
Got it. And also shout out Erin. She put that YouTube link in the chat.
Hey, cool. Thanks,
for
Erin.
KGov too. So yeah, you can watch that tonight. What time does that start tonight?
6 o'clock. So
ETA, 1 hour.
They have a pre-meeting at 5:30 just to lay out how the agenda is going to go, and then the official meeting starts at 6.
Okay. Well, folks, we did it. Thanks for joining us
Yes,
again. For
thank you all very much.
Of the Mayor Tyler
Appreciate
Moore
it.
Show here on the Kokomo Post, partnered with Robert Miller and Son Furniture. Mr. Mayor, like always, do you have a dad joke for us to end the show?
So yeah, I was digging through the desk looking for a pencil, and I found a pencil with 2 erasers.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it was pointless.
That's good.
Thanks.
That's a good one. Thanks for watching this episode of the Mayor Tyler Moore Show here on the Kokomo Post. My name is Drew Larison. This is MTM. We do the show every single Monday, except maybe not next Monday.
Maybe not next Monday.
We are trying to figure out if that's going to work. I'm out of town, and we're trying to get a replacement for it, but we
Bree
might not
usually
be
does,
here.
but Bree may be in tow with them
Correct.
helping, so
Yes.
we'll see.
So
Might
we
have
will
to take a week
see
off.
next week. We might not be here next week, but we will be here the week after that. Thank you for all your questions. If you're watching
Yes.
the replay of this, have a question for the next show we do. Almost said next week. So it's just muscle
Maybe
memory.
next week, maybe 2 weeks.
The next show we do, just leave it in the chat. We pull those, as well as we always put out a post on Monday mornings. Call for questions there too. You can always just DM our page if you don't want to wait till then. You can ask a question then. We get a few people that ask questions through email as well. So always a good way to get a hold of us. Thank you for those.
And I know a
live chat.
few other pages kind of share that
Correct.
post or put
Yep.
something out on their own. And so next Monday, I mean, if you see something else that's not from the Kokomo Post,
Yep.
you might
It's hard to
question
get
it
to
or
those,
ask
yeah.
it. But
Yeah, we do our best to try
we'll,
to get them. It's the big wide world, that
Yep.
internet. So
Look out.
thanks for watching this
Yep.
episode. We'll see you next time.
see you, Kokomo.